Hey guys, it's Vakul here, and today we'll talk about a very recent topic. Can T1 break the curse? You will ask me, what curse? Well, the T1 lost 5 finals in a row. Since the 2020, the second day of April, when they won versus the Genji 3-1 in the LCK 2020 Spring Playoffs. And this was the last time they won a final in any just final, in any competitive game, let's say, because they lost playoffs. They lost MSI. They didn't lose MSI finals. I mean, they lost finals. I would even say maybe 6 finals because they lost the final of a losers bracket into BLG. But it's not like a real final. I mean, yeah, it's not the real final. But let's keep it 5. It's still 5. So they lost to like the biggest kryptonite, I would say. I mean, sometimes they are winning versus Genji, but the biggest kryptonite is Genji. The team which T1 simply, I don't know why, but they cannot actually win against them. I know. This is like a thing that Genji is better with pace, ruler. They were just better. I mean, T1 was sometimes winning, but Genji was winning most of the matches. So the last playoffs, they lost 3-0 to their Genji. Then if we will count MSI 2023, then they lost to the BLG in the losers bracket final, the 3-1. Before it, they were a second place because it was different. The Genji was also here. The MSI changed a lot because it was only first seeds. I think it changed in this year. Obviously it changed in this year because in the last year T1 lost in the final. In 2023 MSI, they lost to BLG, and before it, they lost to Genji 3-1. Wow, already 3 finals, and it was just 7 months ago. I mean, 2 finals. I mean, if we count BLG, 3. And before it, in the December, literally year ago, they lost also versus the DRX. The biggest, the best story in the esports, not even League of Legends, the esports. The team which won when every single game was their game to be dead or alive, and they won every single one of it. So that's really impressive. Also, they were reverse swept. It's like the biggest failure of T1, getting reverse swept in a Worlds final. The team which has the most Worlds, right? And they got reverse swept in the final. That's crazy. Also versus the worst team from the LCK on the Worlds, right? I mean, that's what seeds would say, but, well, it was the best. I still do believe, if not the Yumi against the Damwon from Genji, the Damwon would take it. They would win everything. But it's a different topic, not for today. Then, before the Worlds 2022, they lost to the Genji 3-0. Literally the same concept like last year. Do you see? 3-0 by Genji last year. They lost 3-2 in the final. This year, 3-0 versus Genji. Is it going to be 3-2 final once again? Also, they are playing versus the 4th seed. It's not LCK, but it's LPL. And the more crazy thing is, the first lose actually, but the last I'm talking about because this is the most important one in this topic about the curse, is versus the guy who started it. The guy is in the enemy team. He was on a team who started this losing streak. Can you guess? Well, I would say, if you want to compare them, the best Chinese player, I would say Mr. MSI, like a Ronaldo of the League of Legends, while the Faker is like a Messi of a League of Legends. The Xiaohu, the best Chinese mid laner ever. This guy won 3 times MSI. It's even more than a Faker. It's just more than a Faker. Can you imagine? The guy from China has more MSI titles than the GOAT, right? Crazy. And they lost 3-2. They lost 3-2. The first game was for the RNG, the second for T1. Once again RNG, T1. And the final game, Xiao, who was, well, throughout the series, he was actually a better mid laner. You can even watch highlights, and just by watching highlights, he had a much bigger impact. So the meta was totally different. It was pretty funny. And yeah, that's crazy. Because it's like taking a revenge. For the first biggest, I would say biggest loss, because they lost 3-2 in a MSI international loss, because they were obviously winning 3-1 in the finals. Like, I don't remember. There was like a time when internationally, when T1 was on the finals, they lost. I don't remember it. I may be corrected in the video after post-production, but I didn't remember it. So the thing is, it was the first international loss. And it wasn't like 3-0, 3-1, it was 3-2. This is like the most heartbreaking loss. I mean, if they would be reverse swept, this is the most heartbreaking. But you were so close to getting it, and it's even worse than in sports. It's even worse because in the esports, in the League of Legends, you have maps. So, like, you won 2 maps, right? But you didn't win a title. You didn't win 3. So, like a winner, but not the bigger winner, let's say. And back then, RNG had been on the top lane. Wei, who was MVP of these finals. And yeah, he was crazy on the Viego. I mean, probably if they banned Viego, the T1 could win. Gala, which they already take over. And that was a Mink, if I remember well. That was a Mink. And Mink is right now... No, Meiko is World Final. Yeah, never mind. But Meiko won, I think, twice at least, the MSI. And the Gala, who won also the MSI. The Wei, who is not... I mean, the funny part is like the jungler of the RNG is a Wei. It's not the same guy, but it's kind of funny that here's the nickname, the doubled nickname of the guy who literally slapped T1 like crazy on their first loss. It sounds funny, right? Yeah, it sounds. As the Bean, the guy who was actually considered the best top lane in the world, the best laning phase top lane, definitely, because 369 was considered the best teamfighting top laner. He was totally smoked by Deshai. Also, Zeus, who is a pretty good top laner, he's among the top 5, definitely. It's really hard to say who is the best here, because if T1 wins, the thing is like Doran is kinda very good versus the Zeus, the King, and also, so it's really hard to say if he's like the best when he's losing in his own region. When, for example, 369 and Bean are stomping everyone in their own region, right? But when they meet, yeah, it's obviously that sometimes the Zeus is going to win, the Bean is going to win, 369 is going to win. We all know that it can go both ways. And let's talk about it. The T1 has very stacked lineup. Basically, top 2, top 3 players from the LCK. Probably top 5 in the world. You have the mid laner, who is always like top 3 at least in the world. The Faker, the GOAT. Yeah, let's don't be scared. He's the GOAT. Even if you hate him or love him, he's the GOAT, right? On the ADC, you have Gumayusi. The guy is pretty sure I was even saying that he's not as good as I thought, but it's because he is the best support in the world, which is Keria. But, well, if Keria meets Beryl, it's over. It's kind of funny. This guy lost every time to Beryl. I mean, besides... in the most important games. When it's dead or alive, he lost to the Beryl. And the Gumayusi, he was crazy. He's crazy. He's really definitely top 3 in the world right now. After the performance he's putting out, yeah, he's very good. But also, he's a great team. Also, the owner, who I don't think he's that good. And ironically, I don't feel like he's that good. Sometimes it's very questionable what he's doing in the game. But he's a flashy player. He's like a newer version of the Canyon because he's a guy who will go crazy or he will be useless. It's many times a thing. And then the team has to carry him. But he's a very good player. Anyway, he's a very good player. He's just very hated in the T1. That's what I have to say. He's very hated. And Zeus. This is, I think, the youngest top laner. He's the best top laner after 2003. Who is born after 2003 or 2004. He's the best. Simply the best. I wouldn't say he's the best in the LCK. But that's questionable. I would say that he could be the best one. He could be the best one, definitely. It depends. Okay, but we have a great lineup, like I said. You have top players here. And you face the Weibo. Who is, okay, that's right. The guy, well, the godfather of the top lane. I mean, the Khan was godfather, but the only one who made it as a top laner in a carry top laners meta is the Deshai. He just 1v9s back in 2008. Well, not only 1v9, because obviously he had a rookie, which had also amazing season. He's still a top player. I mean, people who watch games know Rookie is the top player. And with Xiaohu, the greatest Chinese mid laner. Some people could say Knight, but Knight always chokes internationally. While you have the, well, Xiaohu with 3 international titles. He had to beat DK. He had to beat T1. This guy is different. He's different. You have Weiwei, the guy who is not actually the best. This is like first time he's playing internationally. He was always like 8th, 9th, 10th place in the LPL. This is like the first time. It's kind of crazy. I feel like he could be an issue, the biggest issue actually. Also Light, pretty good ADC. Above decent definitely. And you have Crisp, the guy who once was a world champion, amazing support. If I remember well, he was the most watched Chinese streamer after he won Worlds on the platform which is Huya TV. So yeah, that's pretty crazy, isn't it? It's like probably one of the most influential Chinese players. I mean, the social-wise, right? Social media-wise. So actually, it doesn't look as good. I mean, Crisp had a good times. He's still good. Light is not also the top player. Xiaohu could be the top player. Could be a top player. Deshai definitely is in the talk. He's a top player. People who watch games actually know how good he is, and he still has it. Sometimes he just sings. That's the thing. It's be real. Sometimes you have this vibe like he doesn't give a fuck. He will just limit test. And Weiwei, who is, well, if kinda random. Let's be real. He's probably the worst player on the roster. There's the D1, who has top players everywhere. But the last season, we had Zeka, who was not like the top, Kingen, who was not the top, Pyoshik wasn't also a top. I mean, we could talk that he was maybe a top. The Deft, who was good. He's okay. He's like top 5 talk all the time. And the Beryl. The thing is, if this guy would be better than Faker if just one more game. The game which still haunts me because I'm a Damwon fan. The game which I won a lot of money, but I was crying that night. I mean, I wasn't, but my soul just left. When they lost 3-2. When they were 2-1 up versus the ADG as Damwon. this guy would be a GOAT. He would be a GOAT, not Faker. Can you understand it? So yeah, that was a pretty good lineup. Actually better than Awibo. But still you have the guy who won the most MSI. Still you have the best peak-wise top laner ever. So if the light, still Crisp, he was amazing. He's pretty good support. If you watch games, you can see that he's playing very well. If Weiwei will not be bad, and he will step up, if Light will step up, Crisp will step up, there's a chance. Also remember, that's a finals T1. They have it in their mind. It's another final. It's a 6th final in a row they can lose. I mean, if they count BLG, it could be even 7th. They have it in their mind. If you think about it, just think don't think like they have better players. Just think about it like a guy who's playing there. If you lost, like you meet something, you lost to it, the final, you lost no matter who. That was just a final. You lost 5 times in a row. You'd be scared of it. Can they actually make it? Can they break the curse? Definitely there's some mental edge block. I cannot believe it. I mean, it was Genji 3 times, but they lost versus DRX. The RNG was good back then. Top players, Gala, Bean, Xiaohu, Wei, just top players, Ming also. But DRX, the Genji, they don't have like top players. They have pretty top players, yes, but not like definitely top ones. Like you can see easily, even as a guy who's watching it, the weaknesses of this roster. Also, the pace is crazy. I have to admit, the pace is crazy. This guy is going to be GOAT ADC. I'm telling you that now. This guy is going to be GOAT one day. But can they actually break it? Think about it as a player. It's like a big question. Can Faker overcome his fear? Can he? I mean, it's probably not even about the Faker. The other players know it also. The Zeus, the owner, because it's the same roster. The Keria wants to prove that he's the best. If you watch games, you know that Keria is the best support possibly. Because of the picks, because of the playstyle, because how he can literally counter everyone. Besides Beryl, of course. He's the best support in the world, right now. Besides Beryl, because he's a Genshin Impact player, or Honkai Impact. But yeah, he's definitely... Okay, if we don't count Beryl, he's definitely top 1. And Beryl, the thing is, he's better as a mind player. He's not that flashy like Keria, that's why he's not talked about, but Beryl is probably the biggest mind in the League of Legends ever. Not even Faker, really. In the most competitive time, he made it to the World Finals 3 times in a row. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. So, if you think about it, can actually T1 break the curse? Can they? We'll see on the Sunday. But my question is, if Xiao wins, is he going to be considered a GOAT? He has the most MSI titles. That's kind of crazy, right? He could be in a talk, since Faker can win for whole time. Since 2017, right? Or 16? Wait, he won in 2013, 15, 16, right? I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I'm just saying it out of my mind, I'm not checking the stats. The whole talk I'm talking right now is just from my mind. So, the thing is, if you're T1 fan, good luck. If you're a Weibo fan, probably you're Chinese, then good luck. Hopefully we'll see 5 games, that's what I root for, because I want to see a banger series, because the players who are here, there, they all deserve the 5-game finals. Because they are pretty good. Every one of them. The biggest difference could be in a jungle and on the bottom. But mid lane and top lane, the solo lanes will be crazy. The matchup will go crazy. Really. You can trust me. You will see probably best 2 mid laners and best 2 top laners right now in the world. It's crazy. So, good luck to all of you. I don't know. Hopefully T1 break the curse or not. If you're a T1 fan, hopefully yes. If you're a Weibo fan, hopefully not. Because from one side you have the Xiaohu and Deshai. From the other side you have the T1 roster, who didn't make anything impressive through all of the existence of a Gumayusi, Keria, Owner, and Zeus. It's crazy. So the Sunday will tell us, is T1 curse real or they just broke it? We'll see it on the Sunday. That's the final exam for the T1. If they want to prove, if they want to make it as this team, as a top team right now in the world, or for like couple of the years for now, I mean they weren't, but they were very close to it. They were also like top 2, top 3, top 4, top 5 in the world. Can they actually show they're at top level? Can they show they are the best? It was the mistake versus the RX. It was the mistake versus RNG. The Genji is better when we just cannot win versus them, but we are the best. Can they? Can they? We'll see. We will see. It's going to be tough. Definitely it's going to be tough mentally. They have met. The thing is, they are not only versus Weibo, they are also against themselves. You need to have it in the mind. And the thing is, if they can win against themselves, they have also win versus Weibo. And a probably top pick from Deshai. I feel like I will see some 1v2 from Deshai. Definitely on the Sunday. This guy is going to pull off some crazy shit. We didn't even see it in 2018 versus G2. I feel it. I feel it. And he will probably trust Zeus on his Yone. I feel like it. I have a weird feeling about it. But hopefully we get 5 games. I mean, in one game it can happen. But hopefully Zeus will fight back. Hopefully. I want to see great games. So, the answer will be on the Sunday. If it's a curse, if curse is real,